there's always a reason to feel imposter syndrome. But the rewarding thing is that you stick with it long enough and you're like, you look back and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't listen to that doubting voice in my head, because now I actually do feel like I belong. I actually do feel like I'm helping people, and opportunities are literally getting dropped in my lap.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Beauty Industry Leaders podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Kennedy. Today we're diving into the paid side of marketing. If you've been relying solely on organic content, this episode might be the eye-opener that you've been waiting for. If you've ever said, I just need more clients, or found yourself boosting a post and crossing your fingers, it's time to learn what actually works when it comes to ads that convert. Today, I'm joined by Stephanie Mitchell, marketing expert, educator, and founder of Sunny Store Marketing and the Ad Lab, an online program that teaches beauty professionals how to grow their clientele using Facebook and Instagram ads that actually work. Stephanie didn't come from behind the chair. She came from the world of marketing. After founding her agency in 2017 and working with all kinds of businesses, she found herself drawn to the beauty industry. The more she worked with salon and spa owners, the more she fell in love with the creativity, passion, and potential, and that's when everything started to shift. Since then, she's worked with over 1,000 students, helped 30,000 plus beauty pros through her free trainings, and consulted for major industry names like L'Oreal Pro, Schwarzkopf, and SkinScript. What I love about Stephanie is that she doesn't just run ads. She teaches beauty business owners how to take the guesswork out of marketing and use Facebook ads to create steady growth, consistent bookings, and real ROI. Today, we're diving into how Stephanie went from outsider to industry leader without ever working behind the chair, the biggest myths beauty pros believe about Facebook ads, and what's actually costing them bookings, the real reason why visibility feels so hard, and how to overcome the fear of being seen, why sticking to organic marketing only might be keeping your business stuck, the formula Stephanie teaches to turn ads into brand building machines, not just booking band-aids, and what makes a local ad actually convert, and the metrics you should stop obsessing over. Whether you're ad curious or ad skeptical, this is a conversation every beauty CEO needs to hear. Stephanie, welcome to the podcast. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired because my son didn't let me sleep last night, but regardless, I had a cappuccino at the cafe this morning, and so I'm feeling a little bit more charged up.
Where are you tuning in from right now? Because you're not
I live in Italy.
Canada
I live
anymore.
in like a little village. Yeah, I'm Canadian. You can tell by my accent maybe. But I live in a little village in the south of Italy, and I love it here. I'm a mother to a 2-year-old son. My husband, Guido, is Italian. And so we decided to move here, and it's just great. And I run my business completely remotely. So I'm really lucky that I can do it from here.
That's amazing. How long ago did you move to Italy?
I lived in Rome back in the day for 4 years, and then we moved back to Canada for 4 years. And then around 3 years ago, pretty much 3 years ago, I moved back to Italy, but this time not in a big city like Rome, but in this little village. So it's been a big transition, and also like being a mom, and just things have shifted in the industry. So it's like this year, I feel like it's like trying to find my balance and trying to figure out, okay, like, what am I doing? What is my life like? What is my business like? Like, it's a year of a lot of questions coming up.
How do you navigate being a mum and then also running a business online?
I'm really lucky because I have a ton of support. My son goes to daycare, so I dropped him off this morning at 8:30. I went and, like I said, had a cappuccino at the local cafe, walked back home, got some zucchinis from my garden. Well, again, like I'm like doing all this, and I'm so lucky because he's in daycare. The daycare ends at the end of July. And I just like, spend some time outside, maybe a little bit of time like in the village, like talking with people, that kind of thing, going grocery shopping at like some of the local markets. And then come home, work. I pick them up at like 4. And then a lot of times I have a babysitter in the evenings because of the time difference. Like I have group coaching calls with my students in the ad lab in the kind of late afternoons at like 5, 6. And then I'll do
Yeah.
like podcasts and that kind of thing. So when I'm working, I'll often have like, I have a babysitter come like 2 times a week. And then my mother-in-law just lives down the street and she's amazing. She's like Super Nona. We call her Super Nona because like Francesco just absolutely loves her. So I am really, really lucky because I have a ton of support. I don't know how people do it like without daycare, like having their son or daughter on like a waiting list for daycare, maybe having 2 kids with no babysitter, no in-laws or family close by. Like I'm really, really lucky.
I love that you've got that support system there. It definitely
Mm-hmm.
makes a big difference with your time and your energy and expectations around what you can achieve, both as a business owner and a mum as well.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids, but I have a lot of clients who have kids, and I just see
Yeah.
how different it is in my comparison of how I use my time versus people who have kids. And I find it really inspiring. I'm like, I don't have kids and I feel like I'm trying to maximize and do everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
imagine when I do have kids, like when my parents were, I mean, throughout my whole childhood, my family's had businesses. And the
Mm.
only time I would spend time with my parents, well, the only way I could spend time with my parents was working at the business with them. So I
Mm.
never got that quality time out of any of that, which looking back now, I'm like, oh, it's a bit sad, but I still loved it.
Yeah, and you got exposed to that at a young age, which is great. And I'm sure that influenced like the kind of life that you have now, the kind of business that you have now.
100%. So for anyone who's never heard of you before, who is Stephanie Mitchell and what makes you an expert at what you do?
Yeah, great question. So, like on the personal side, I've like moved around so many different times in my life. I lived in the US, I lived in Senegal, Africa. My parents were missionaries. I moved away for university. I came to Italy. And so, like, I feel like my whole life has been like, and I've been working through this in therapy too, of like a series of me always feeling like the outsider and desperately trying to like put down roots, be part of a group, be part of something. And like being a business owner is so cool because it really allows me to feel like I kind of belong to something and that I can help people and that I kind of like create my own community. And that's what I've always wanted is like a really desperate sense of like, I want to feel like I belong somewhere. And it's really cool that, I've created the ad lab and we've got a student community and we do group coaching and I'm helping people do the same kind of thing that I'm doing, which is growing my business. And so that's kind of a big theme in what I do is like helping people, I think, feel belonging and feeling like they're not alone and starting a new business, especially I work with a lot of new business owners and it's really scary and it can do a number on your confidence when you start out so excited. And then in that first year, you're like, oh, this is not as easy as I thought. So I help them with I'm a very practical person. Like I help them with the very practical thing. I'm not like a mindset coach or anything. I'm just like, okay, I know it's scary. I know you feel demotivated. Like let's run some ads. Let's get a plan in place to attract those clients to you and to get your business going again. And then as a byproduct of running ads and booking clients, then it helps people to feel excited about work again and confident in themselves again. And that's something that I deal with all the time. Like I've been in this industry for like 7-8 years now. And I still go through like waves of feeling really excited and confident about business and then crashing down and feeling like, oh my gosh, like things are just crappy. Like there's something wrong with what I'm doing. Like I'm a very impatient person. So I always want to like be taking action to fix things. And ads are one way that I've constantly been able to reach goals in my business without having to rely on Instagram, without having to do a lot of other things that I just don't have the energy or patience or time to do in my business. So yeah, that's kind of like, I guess, mixing the personal side of who I am with like my kind of why of like why I do what I do. And then also like I said, I live in Italy. So I'm also like kind of integrating myself into this new culture. I speak Italian pretty well. I love cooking. I love Italian food. I love traveling this beautiful country. So I've got a pretty good life. And I live in this place. It's absolutely gorgeous.
You can tell through your story and everything that you've done to get to where you are today. You have so much valuable life experience, but then also business experience. And I think that was one thing that really drew me to you is that you're not just someone who looks the part. You're someone who's gone out and lived life and gone and had all these different experiences. And I think that changes your perspective, or it opens up new ideas that you don't necessarily get when you're stuck in Groundhog Day, just stuck and fixed to one location or place.
Thank you.
That's okay. So you didn't come from the treatment room. You weren't a hairdresser,
No.
a beauty therapist, or anything like that. What made you believe that you could lead an entire industry of beauty professionals?
I didn't think that I could do it. I moved to Rome, like I was saying. I think it was back in 2014. I was the marketing director for tech companies in Canada. I just kind of like fell into it right out of university. The marketing director had just been fired. They were like, okay, let's use this new intern and turn her into the marketing director. And I was like, what? Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing, but thank you. And then right after that company got acquired, and then we started a new company together. And so I was a founder and a marketing director at that new company. And I felt like I actually knew what I was doing this time. So we had like a tech company, a hardware company. It was really cool. And we ended up getting acquired again by a big American company. And so because I was a founder, I got a payout. I took my money and I was like, okay, bye. I'm not staying at this company anymore. So I quit my job, took my money, moved to Italy, and I wanted to like get a job in marketing. And in Italy, it's not so simple. First of all, I wasn't great at the language, but also there weren't that many opportunities that I could find. So I started my own company. It kind of morphed, like it's a really long story, so I won't bore you with the details, but it kind of morphed into me having a marketing agency where I was doing websites, branding, social media, getting reviews, email marketing, design, all this stuff. I had a team, and I just kind of fell into working with salons and spas. I really enjoyed it. I just found like it was a really nice industry to be in, not going anywhere, not getting disrupted by, DoorDash or technology. Like it's a really hands-on, cool industry. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this industry. Let's keep going. But I kind of burnt out working one-to-one with clients. So at a certain point, I let go of all my clients and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to teach them how to do their own marketing. And the number one question that people would always ask me is like, that they would come to me with as a marketing agency was like, we need more clientele. And from my years and years of experience working in the tech industry and doing advertising for all of the products that we had, I was like, I love Facebook ads. I've used them for my own business. I've used them for the companies that I've done marketing for before. So I started had a different name, but the Ad Lab to teach Facebook and Instagram ads to salon and spa owners. And then I kind of started working more with independents. So people who had salon suites, people who were like independently working out of their houses, that kind of thing, or just had like a little micro salon with just a couple team members. But I told you when I filled out that questionnaire for your podcast, it really got me thinking of like, I felt very insecure for the first few years I would say for the first 5 years. I've been in this industry for like 7-8 years now. Only recently have I really come into my confidence of like, okay, I feel like I've made a name for myself in this industry. I'm not like the most famous person ever. I'm not an influencer. I'm not huge on Instagram, but like I feel confident in what I teach. I feel like I've helped so many people before, but it took a while for me to get there. I felt like such an outsider. Again, that theme of feeling like I don't belong, like nobody accepts me. Like I feel like, I've never been a hairstylist. I've never been an esthetician. Who am I to teach them? But I'm really glad that I stuck with it because it's a really rewarding industry to be in. And it's just been such a cool journey.
The imposter syndrome is such a real thing. Hey, like as you're reaching new audiences and more people and you're starting to have that impact, you're like, am I allowed to do this? Like I remember when I was running my beauty salon like 5 or so years ago, you came up in my Facebook ads. And from that moment, I didn't even know whether you'd run a beauty salon or not. I just looked at you and knew you were the ads expert. And it's taken 5 years, me now having a podcast and going, who can I get on to talk about Facebook ads? And you were the first person that came to mind. Like I never would have sat there and gone, you weren't worthy of being in this industry or you aren't good enough because you didn't come from that. Because I knew when I watched that masterclass, I was like, she knows her stuff. Like she knows way more than me in ads. And I think that all the things that you're like, I was just reading through your bio and going, you've worked with L'Oreal? Like that's huge. That's the biggest beauty company in the whole world. Like what was that experience like?
It was cool. During COVID, they contact me and they're like, hey, it's really cool what you're teaching about doing advertising during COVID, even during a shutdown. Like, can you please come and talk with our community? So we did a series of Facebook Lives for Schwarzkopf Professional Canada for their salons and spas in Canada. And it was just so rewarding. And that I don't think I got paid for that. I think it was just like a free collaboration over 1 month where every week I taught like a new session for them. But it's a logo that I put on my website. It's something that I use in my bio. And it's just like such a proof of like, sorry, that was Schwarzkopf. L'Oreal, I actually did educate for them and I got paid to teach Facebook ads for their professionals. They've got some sort of like professional educational program. So I did get paid for that. But again, it's like a logo that I put on my website. And it's just so cool because you have this imposter syndrome, which I think everybody does. You work through it and you're like, I'm scared. I feel like people are going to label me as a fraud. Like I don't belong. It's really a sense of not belonging, I think, that imposter syndrome stems from, of feeling like you don't fit in and people are going to judge you. And people have imposter syndrome for all sorts of reasons. Maybe they're an esthetician that doesn't have perfect skin. Maybe they're a hairstylist who, has a bit of hair loss happening. Maybe they are trying to be an educator and they hate the way that they sound or look on camera. Maybe they're, learning how to do laser hair removal and they've only been doing it for 6 months, whereas like other people have been doing it for years. Like there's always a reason to feel imposter syndrome. But the rewarding thing is that you stick with it long enough and you're like, you look back and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't listen to that doubting voice in my head because now I actually do feel like I belong. I actually do feel like I'm helping people and opportunities are literally getting dropped in my lap to collaborate with SkinScript, with Schwarzkopf, with L'Oreal. It's so rewarding. So yeah, it's been a pretty cool few years in the industry.
Wow. I'm so inspired, honestly. I'm curious, did they find you through your Facebook ads or did they reach out to you via email or?
No, they reached out to me via email, but my ads get shown to like tens of thousands of people of every month. So I'm targeting people in the beauty industry. They're probably seeing my ads. They follow me on Instagram and then they get aware of who I am through my content. And then same as you, when they're thinking like, oh, we need someone to teach ads, then they reach out.
I love it. I actually totally relate to the whole imposter syndrome thing, like everything you were saying on this episode. I was asking myself the other day, why did I start this podcast? And I was like, because I just had this fear if I asked other people to go on theirs, they would say no. And if I asked for speaking gigs or to go present, they would reject me. And I think the fear of that made me go, you know what, stuff this. I'm creating my own platform and I'm bringing people onto it. I'm going to go the other way. Yeah. And I'm like, was that like a scarcity or fear thing? Like, did I do it for the right reasons? But now I look back and I'm like, I would not be able to have the conversations I'm having with you today if I didn't do that. Yeah. And you're so right. Yeah. It does work out. You just have to believe in yourself, even on the days where it feels like you're not going anywhere. Like you got to know that that consistency compounds and 12 months from now, you'll look back and be like, whoa.
I actually have a note on my phone. I don't know if it's still saved on my current phone, but on my old phone of like, I remember I was taking a bus somewhere. I was on a really long bus ride and I was feeling really insecure about my business. And I was like, I need to get a partner. Like I'm going to do the behind the scenes work and I need to hire someone, like literally pay someone in the beauty industry to be the face of the business because I don't know what I'm talking about. And I need them in order to like instill confidence in people that I know what I'm doing. Like imagine if I had just like given up 50% of my company or like paid someone every month to show up confidently because I couldn't do it myself. Like I'm so glad I didn't listen to that.
You need a mindset coach.
Yeah.
Legit. So let's dive into ads. Like what do most beauty business owners get wrong about Facebook ads and what's the truth that no one wants to hear?
Ooh, that's good. So, I think that like a lot of people just look at ads of like, ooh, I need to get seen. I'm going to take this Instagram post that seems to be doing well and boost it, spend a little bit of money on it and hope for the best without a strategy behind it. What I teach to my students is before, you create an ad, before you create the visuals, the video, the caption, anything like that, you need to have a really great offer. And I think that most ads that people do. An ad, I would consider anything, whether it's a boosted post, an ad that you make in the ads manager, etc. Anything that you're spending money on in order to get seen is an ad. And people just do it like I need visibility. Like my posts aren't getting seen. I just need some bookings. So they just take any old post and they spend money on it. But what we really need is to start off with a strategy. And before you do anything else, like I said, before you do caption video, have a special offer, have a goal in mind of like, just as an example, I'm doing a summer sale for my course this month because summer tends to be kind of a slow period. And I know that when I offer like a 1 week flash sale of my course without discounting, just creating some special bonuses, I know that I get a bunch of sales. So I put together this strategy of like, hey, here's my summer flash sale. I put together ads for it. And only after I like figure out exactly what I'm selling, what my package is, all of that, then do I do my ads. I record my videos, make my captions, all of that. And I teach that to my students too. I'm like, if you've got a slow period this summer, for example, that tends to be really slow for people, do a 1 month offer, limited time or limited quantity. Like say this is only available until July 30th, for example, and put together a really great package for clients that's really going to click with them. So this could be, if you do hair, this could be like a mini highlights package just to like brighten up your hair for summer with some deep conditioning treatment to repair hair like from the summer sun, like make it really seasonal. If you're an esthetician, maybe you want to create like an intro package for clients who just have never had a facial before or who had a facial like years ago for a special event, but aren't really that into skincare, but they're, in their early 40s, maybe they're noticing their first signs of aging and the summer has them like looking more at their skin and being like, oh my gosh, I've got sunspots. So create a special offer for your people, make it an intro offer, make it something that's $300 and under is the sweet spot. I find for pricing, create a really great offer with some bonuses, extras, add-ons, things that don't cost you much in time and money. Maybe they take an extra few minutes or they cost you an extra like $10, $15 in product, but they're really seen as valuable for clients and understand who that client is. Like if you're creating this package for this person, like I said, maybe you're doing a first time facial package of someone who's never really gotten into skincare or facials before. You got to ask yourself, what would motivate somebody to make an appointment with me and try me out for the first time? It's because I recently kind of was thinking about it this way. You know how people used to think that Instagram's spying on them because you're talking about getting a new refrigerator and then all of a sudden you like get an ad for a fridge and you're like, my phone is spying on me.
It is though, isn't it?
I don't think it is, but it's just, it knows you so well because all of those unconscious signals that you've been showing that you're looking for a new fridge without actually searching for fridges. It's the same thing with ads. Like you want your ads to, like, it's the same thing with ads for your beauty business. You want your ads to show up in someone's feed and that person to be like, holy crap, like she's reading my mind. How did she know that I've been looking at my face in the mirror these days and noticing more like sunspots and like tiny little, 11sies, I think they call them, lines in between my brows, and just being like, oh my gosh, I need to like figure this out because the skincare that I'm using, the face cream that I'm using is just not working. Like you want people to feel like you're in their heads. And that's what I teach my students to do, is to create ads that really resonate with people, meet them where they're at, make them feel like you're in their head and you get them, and then give them a special offer that just makes them say, well, I need to book an appointment with Sammy right now because this is the perfect package for me. It's exactly designed for my goals and it's only available until July 30th. So, I mean, there's so many technical aspects about ads that we can talk about, but I just wanted to start off with this one of like, people aren't strategic enough with their ads. They don't create the special offer that creates that urgency for people to book with you now. And they also do not dig into the minds of their ideal clients. They just don't use that sales psychology in their ads. And I think that that's a huge, huge blind spot for a lot of people. They just get ChatGPT to write captions for them, but they're just glossing over all the details. They're really just they're putting the emphasis on the service that they're advertising. They're not putting the emphasis on the client and like what's going on in their head.
I really love the way that when you're explaining how you're setting up these ads, you're super specific on the type of client, the pain point that they're experiencing, and the solution that you're providing. That's the difference between trying to sell based on your price point and the service versus here's the value, here's the transformation, here's why what I'm offering is valuable and you should take action right now. I'm super curious because I know I've had clients come to me and they go dump, $1,000 into Facebook ads, and then they're like, oh, didn't work. And I'm like, well, yeah, you didn't have a strategy. The copy sucks. It literally just says 20% off, book now in the caption. It's some really crappy graphic, and they're sitting there kicking themselves saying the ads don't work when, like we've said, they don't have a strategy. When you look at setting up an ad strategy, are you just focusing on running one type of ad that's promoting that offer, or are you doing a mixture of brand awareness before you're launching that offer?
That's a really great question, because for one of the coaches in my program, the Ad Lab, Carolyn, she actually is an ads manager for med spas. Do you work with a lot of med spas?
I get a lot more skin. I've had lashes. I don't get as many med spas.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Okay. So she works with med spas and they pay her a crap load of money to manage their ads every month, because she brings them like $20,000 to $50,000 in bookings every month, because we're talking high-end multi-$1,000 services, right? And her ad strategy for her clients is crazy, because she doesn't just do ads that have a direct call to action, like message me to book an appointment. She does brand recognition ads. She does video ads, and then she retargets those people who watch the video ads. She gets people to interact with her content first. She gets them to join the email. Like, her ad strategy, her funnel is complex and it works. She's got it down to a science. Maybe if I was, managing ads for people like I used to, I would create a strategy like that. But I have to be realistic. I'm teaching ads to people who hate social media typically, don't really want to use all those tools. And it's hard enough to get them to even get the confidence to publish that first ad, let alone to create like a full awareness funnel and then, all of these different steps. So what I teach is ads that go directly to a call to action. That call to action is message me to chat with me and book an appointment. Because I found that instead of clicking over from your ad to your website or from your ad to your booking page, most people actually like to chat with you first. Especially new clients who just don't know you. There's not that trust yet. If you can have real conversations with them, you can automate part of it at the beginning with some automated questions and answers. And then you can turn that into a mini consultation online. Then you can send them over to maybe a jot form where they can put in information. Then you can send them over to your booking link, or you can ask them for their phone numbers. So there's a lot of ways to transition from a conversation to an appointment. And that's totally up to you. But, long story short, we don't do brand recognition ads in the ad lab because we want to know I'm spending $10 and I'm making $100. Or let's say things don't go well. I'm spending $100, but I haven't made any money yet. So we want to be able to really track our return on investment. And I find that other things like that funnel that Carolyn makes for her one-on-one clients, it's hard to prove the return investment unless you've figured out that whole process, which I try to streamline it.
I feel like that's super valuable, having a strategy that's easy for people to implement, because I get so overwhelmed. I go into Meta, everything's moved around again. Someone's telling me top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Oh, you meant to test 5 to 10 graphics with one lot of copy. And I'm just like, who has the time? So
yeah.
My next question is, when we look at coaches and course creators, right? They usually have these nice sales funnels. They have a landing page. They've got all this information. And I think for someone who's never come across you before, it's good to have that information there to understand what is the service or product, what are the benefits, transformations, what's included. Do you genuinely think that it's a better idea to get that call to action to always be the DMs, or do you think landing pages or booking systems have worked better in the past based on the statistics that you've seen?
So you're talking for beauty business owners?
Yeah, for beauty business owners. So beauty
Yeah.
salons, anything
In
like that.
In my experience, bringing people to conversations to DMs works the best. But I always tell my students, like, experiment. If you've, gotten, let's say 50 messages and you haven't booked any of them and you're following up and people just aren't responding, maybe you're dealing with a clientele and a target audience that just wants that immediate, like, okay, just book me in. Just book me in everything, don't make me think. Then I tell them, okay, just send people over to your website or to your landing page. But yeah, it's a thing that you got to test. But in my experience, messages work the best.
And then for someone who's offering training, coaching, education courses, do you find that the same strategy applies with the messaging, or have you found it's better to send them to a sales page?
Neither, actually. If you're trying to sell a course, which is what I do, I actually recommend that you do ads, you run ads that go to a free piece of content. So I do ads that go to my webinar. You could do ads that go to, like a download, a checklist, a guide, etc. Create that trust with people, sell to them. So in my case, I have ads that I get like 20 or 30 signups a day of people who go to my free webinar. And
Wow.
In my free webinar, then I pitch my course at the end. So I have tried running ads that go directly to my sales page to cold audiences, and they just don't work because there's just not the trust there. And education and coaching is all about trust. So you add people to your email list, you email them weekly, then you do maybe a flash sale during the summer like I'm doing. And then when you're doing flash sales like that, then you can use ads to target your warm audience, people who already know you, are familiar with you, and then you can send them over to your sales page. But essentially, long story short, like for education, it is a little bit of a longer process because you do need to build that trust with people.
That's really interesting. And I can see now that you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, why would I want to see someone's $800 course or like $2,500 in-person training when I haven't even built that trust? I need that free resource or piece of advice to go, oh, I'm actually interested in what you have to sell, not shoving it in your face going, buy now, buy now.
Yeah. And you need to give people the context too. Like that's why I love webinars, because I show people, like you went on one of my webinars and I show people like, hey, I get it. I get that being a beauty business owner, and especially in your first few years of business, it's tough because you feel like Instagram is your only way to get found, but you feel like your reach is going down. Nobody's seeing your stuff. You're spending so much time scrolling Instagram, trying to create content, getting frustrated, and it makes you feel smaller and smaller and smaller. What if you can run ads that completely make the algorithm, like it just kind of unshackles you from the algorithm. It makes it irrelevant to you. You can show up in the feeds of your ideal clients without even needing to have a following or creating lots of content for Instagram. So I give them a lot of context in my webinar that makes them feel like, okay, she gets it. Like she's been in my shoes before. Maybe she is in my shoes right now. And then, then you say, okay, well, if you want to work with me on this solution that I have for you, which is ads, here's the ad lab. So it's like I said, with the ads, you really got to get inside of people's heads, and creating that free content is about getting into the heads of your ideal people, showing them that you understand them, and then selling them on the solution.
So when we look at people who are more in that education course creator space, let's say, they're using lead magnets, which are your masterclasses, webinars, guides, checklists, cheat sheets, templates, anything like that. Do you ever get your salons or, studios or anyone else like that to use lead magnets in their business as a form of lead generation, or do you just solely focus on the offer? Because I see all of these guides and coaches and things like that doing it all the time, but I actually haven't seen as many people in terms of beauty salons doing it. And I'm wondering, is that a strategy that people should be considering?
You could definitely try it. I have done it with some of my students. I haven't been able to prove the return investment to say like, oh, I know that if my students spend $500 on lead magnet ads, they're able to book XYZ amount of clients. I've seen more immediate return investment with just having that offer, starting conversations with people. But I think that if you were to be advertising a higher ticket service, so something like hair extensions, microblading, laser hair removal, Botox, that kind of thing, lead magnets can definitely help to create that trust and create branding that it just takes more time and you need to warm people up before they feel ready. And people do a lot of research too. And you want to show them through your lead magnets that you're there to educate them too, to help them figure out, is this the right service for me? Is this the right provider for me, et cetera?
I think the benefit of doing all of that too is that you actually get their emails. And if your Instagram, your Facebook got wiped out, at least you have a database that you own.
Yes. That's a really good point. It's just that to tell my students that then they need to start doing email marketing when it's the last thing that they want to do. Again, like I know what they probably should be doing. And I always push my students and my community members to like focus on email marketing. But if I were to say, you need to run ads, which is already a push for them. And then on top of that to say, yeah, and you're going to get a bunch of emails and you're not going to get a return investment unless you start emailing those people every week. That's another thing to put on their list of things to do that they're like, but I hate marketing and I hate writing emails and I hate doing all of this.
I was chatting with a salon owner the other day who said, Sammy, I feel like I'm constantly working, but nothing's actually working. She was posting daily, reels, stories, replying to DMs between clients. Her team looked to her for everything, and she still lay in bed at night wondering if next week's bookings would cover the bills. Sound familiar? That's exactly why I created Booked, Banked and In Demand. It's the system I wish I had when I was burnt out, overwhelmed, and wondering if all this effort was ever going to pay off. And it's now helped over 300 beauty business owners get off the income roller coaster and actually grow, filling their books, boosting their income, and finally building a business that gives back instead of draining them. Inside, I'll show you how to attract clients with content that actually converts, use AI and done-for-you scripts to save 20 plus hours a week, hire your first VA and delegate the entire back end of your business, and build a system that keeps your business booked without burning you out. So if you've been craving clarity, clients, cash flow, and calm, this is your shortcut. Click the link in the show notes and join Booked, Banked and In Demand now. Let's build a beauty business that doesn't run you into the ground.
So I have had people tell me like, Stephanie, you need to do a course about email marketing. I might do that eventually, but for now, I'm just trying to keep it simple for my students of like, okay, run ads, start conversations. It doesn't require a funnel. It doesn't require emailing people even. Technically, you're right, but I try to like keep it really, really simple.
No, I don't want to be right. I actually love the fact that you're like having this perspective because you're one of the people that I would have looked at and thought, okay, to do ads, it's going to take so much effort and energy. And before you even give yourself the opportunity to learn, you've created this mental battle. And now you're telling me, hey, you only need to run this one type of ad. There's an ROI that I can actually see from this. And I've had heaps of students get incredible results. Like if I had any barrier of resistance before, now I'm sitting here going, oh, maybe I actually need to learn ads from this chick and not all the $30,000 business coaching programs I've been in.
Yeah. Like I try to make them super simple. And I've learned that like you really need to give people, and this is like kind of a tip for anyone who's looking into getting into education too. You need to give people what is the path of least resistance. So for example, I used to teach that my students have to show their faces on camera to do their ads. Like that used to be like, okay, I know you don't like doing it, but in order to have an ad that gets results, you need to be on camera. And I didn't realize until like I worked with a business coach a little while ago. She's like, you're freaking people out. You're giving them one more excuse not to join your course because they're like, yeah, you're probably right, but I'm not going to do that. So now what I teach is the faceless video formula, which is like, yes, showing your face on camera really helps to create trust, but it's not necessary. Like you can create trust and show people the vibe of your space and really give them an idea of who you are without even showing your face. So that could be doing voiceovers, that could be showing different decor details that show your personality, really putting the focus on your clients, client testimonials, that kind of thing. Like there's a lot of things that you can do to create that trust. So anyway, long story short, if someone's looking at getting an education, because I'm guessing that you also talk with educators too, right?
I've got
If
a
you're
mix.
looking
I've
at,
got to look. Yeah.
yeah, you've got both. So if someone's listening to this and they're like looking into getting into education, my advice would be like, choose the path of least resistance. Don't try to get people to do something that is against everything that they fear, or like that's against everything that like they just keeps them comfortable. Of course, we do need to push people a little bit, but make it easy. Give them baby steps that they can do. Again, same with the email marketing thing. Like I would love for every single one of my students, anytime, like for example, I had a student, Tatiana, who she spent $550 on ads and she got $11,000 in bookings with it. She had 100 clients come in for $110 basic intro facial treatment, which is amazing. And then a few months later, she comes back on group coaching. She's like, hey, I'm running an ad campaign and my ads aren't working as well as last time. What am I doing wrong? And I was like, well, first of all, your ads are still working. They're just not working as well. But second of all, like, how come you're running another ad campaign so close to doing your last ad campaign? Like, you got 100 clients from that. What's your return rate? And I think she said it was something like 20 or 30%. And I know that some of my students will get like a 70% rebooking rate from clients from their ads. And so I'm like, Tatiana, there's something not clicking. If the people that come in from your ads are only rebooking 20% of the time, like let's work on that instead of running a new ad campaign. And my wish for Tatiana and like so many of my other students would be that not only they give them an amazing client experience that they'll never forget and give them all, if you're doing facial treatments, like give them a treatment plan that's going to help them reach their goals, give them the right take home retail products. Like there's so much that goes into it, but also keep in touch with your people, email them weekly. By emailing people, you take those one-time clients who might not have rebooked immediately after their first appointment and turn them into recurring clients who feel like they're part of a community. And my students, most of them just don't do that. And I wish that they would, because running ads is great, but having returning clients is even better.
The power of the follow-up, hey? Like if you don't follow up, you're spending so much more money and wasting profit trying to acquire all these new customers when you could be retaining all the ones that are coming through your doors. I think so many people fall the victim to that. Like I don't know if you get that with your clients, but it's like, I just need more clients. I just need more clients. And I'm like, I don't think you need more clients. You need to either improve the quality of the service and the client experience. If you're not having any issues with that, you're getting great results, then it's probably your actual sales skills and not feeling confident enough to ask for the rebooking.
Yeah. The only exception to that, and this is something I haven't quite cracked the code on, is people who do microblading, for example.
Yeah, that's a one-time service.
Because their clients book every few years, right? And you can't rely on that. So obviously you need to work on getting a really good referral program for that.
Yeah.
But microbladers, I feel for them because there was that huge trend of microblading happening. And then there was so much competition. I have students who do microblading and they're like, I didn't need to even post on Instagram. Like people would just come to me in droves, and then it kind of dries up because there's so much more competition and they feel like they constantly need to be advertising themselves. So I have to be honest, there are certain business models that I haven't quite cracked the code on, but if you do facial treatments, like ads should be one part of that, getting clients results, creating amazing experiences and following up with people should be this like big wheel that just kind of starts to turn on its own after a certain point.
I'm super curious because I do a lot more organic than I do paid, and I've worked with pretty much every service provider in the beauty industry. I've found any services that get an instant result usually can convert clients faster. So what I'm speaking about is like nails, lashes, brow styling, not cosmetic tattoo. Anything like that where it's like immediate before and after, I have found that my clients in those services get fully booked a lot quicker. Whereas when it's skin, when it's cosmetic tattoo, when it's injectables, I don't know if this is just my own mindset, my belief system. I might be completely wrong, but I find that there's a lot more trust that needs to be built before someone is investing in that high ticket item. Do you find that's the same thing with your clients, or you've got incredible offers that seem to work with that? Like, do you find some services convert faster than
maybe
others?
maybe you're onto something. I haven't made that connection before, but you could be completely right. I have a student, Mel, and she specializes in male Brazilian waxing and male facial treatment. So she mostly works with men. It's like 90% men.
That's a niche.
Yeah, it's a big niche. And she's in she in LA? No, she's in Orange County. So, but anyway, it's a more, even for men, like cosmetics and that kind of thing, aesthetics are more important there to get ahead in your career, to look good on film, whatever it is. So I interviewed her recently, and she was talking about her client experience, and she has a skin imaging machine. It was quite expensive. I think she spent about 5,000 or 6,000 on hers. It's on a payment plan, but every new client that comes in, she does a detailed skin analysis with this skin imaging analyzer. And it gives them like a rating for different factors, whether that is pigmentation, whether that's pore size, whether that's like texture. I don't know how it works from a technical perspective, but not only can they see pictures of their skin, but they also get like number ratings. And then every appointment, she redoes that imager on them. And her clients love it because it gives them a practical evaluation of me spending, like dropping $1,500 on skincare. Is it working or not? Me coming in for a facial once a month. Is it working or not? Because her guys are so practical. She said, like, that's why I love working with guys on skincare, because they just listen and they just want the results. It's not very emotional for them. It's not like hard to get them to come back if I give them a practical reason to come back. And this imaging and the skincare treatment plan that she gives them, including all of that information from the imager, it really helps to keep them loyal.
They want to see a quantifiable result and improvement that they can track. It's like going to the gym and lifting weights. Like, I know some women who just show up, they lift some weights and they have no idea if they're getting better or not. And then you've got the other people who sit there, they're tracking each week, they're improving, and they also feel like it's a good investment.
My husband goes to the gym and they measure like his biceps, his belly, like his chest, all of that stuff. And it's so motivating for him.
So when you have people come into your world, do you find that there's a lot of resistance to wanting to start ads because they've, I guess, thought maybe it's going to be too expensive, it's going to be too hard, or organic is just the way to go? Like, what conversations have you had with people to shift their mindset to make them realize that running ads is actually going to be a benefit to their business?
Yeah. It's taken hard work on my part to uncover that, because it just seems so obvious to me, because I hate Instagram, because like I really don't enjoy creating content for Instagram. And so I'm like, if I could only post once a month but have my ads get shown every single day, I'd do that all day long. Like, there's no downside to it. But because it's so obvious to me, I really have to like dig deep to understand my ideal clients and understand, okay, what are those mental roadblocks getting in their way? And I do a lot of surveys. I did a survey and like more than 100 people filled it out. And I just asked one question: what's the biggest obstacle getting in the way of self-promotion? And I did an analysis on the answers, and like overwhelmingly, the one thing that gets in people's way is fear of judgment and lack of confidence. Fear of judgment of other industry professionals, fear of judgment of their high school bully, fear of judgment of, the small town, like naysayers, fear of judgment from potential clients, lack of confidence of feeling like they have something unique to share, lack of confidence that they'll be able to get their clients results. Like there's just so much doubt that creeps up. And that's, I think, what gets people stuck from running ads mostly, because I think they don't voice this, but their real concern is like, if I do ads, I'm going to be showing up for all these people who I don't know, and who knows what they're going to think of me. It's not even what they're going to say in the comments. It's literally like, what are they going to think of me? I'm advertising to a niche group, like a targeted group of local people. Who knows if like my sister-in-law is going to see this ad? Who knows if, the salon down the street that I used to work at, if the girls there see my ad? Like, I think that that's like a huge, huge part of it. And then again, when I used to say, and you got to show up on camera too, that's like, like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I just try to assure them of like, I get it. It is not easy, but I promise, like, you run that first ad, you'll see the results and you're like, oh yeah, I need ads in my business if I want to start showing up. Like Instagram is not showing my stuff to people anymore. I'm burnt out from creating content all this time to get like 150 views on a reel that took me an hour to make.
Oh yeah.
It's hard, and it's really hard on our egos when you're new in business and you feel like things just aren't going your way. And on top of that, you feel like nobody's engaging with your content on Instagram. It feels really personal. It doesn't just feel like a social media platform. It feels like kind of a make or break to our confidence. And with ads, you don't have to deal with that because it doesn't matter whether people like it or not. Nobody knows how many messages you're getting. Only you know your results. And we keep a really close eye on our results so we know whether our ads are working. And then if they're not working, then we tweak them. There's always something that you can do. So I'm a very practical person, and that's why I love ads. I love seeing the black and white numbers of what's working. So yeah, I mean, there is the money part that might stand in some people's way. I do have a bonus in my program, a new bonus called payday emails. Again, going back to email marketing, where it's like, if you don't have money to spend on ads because you're new or you're struggling, and you're having a hard time even just paying your rent, send these 3 emails to your client list, even if you only have like 20 people to send these emails to. And I'm pretty sure you can get $300 from these emails. I give ideas for offers, what to say in your emails, like how to give some scarcity to your existing clients. Send these emails, and I'm pretty sure you can get $300 together to spend on an ad campaign and run it for like a month.
That's super valuable because like for them, that's probably 1 or 2 clients, and that revenue, if set up correctly, could end up 5-10xing what you're investing.
Exactly. It's just getting a little bit of extra cash flow in your business so that you feel comfortable spending money on ads. So yeah, money is one of the things that stands people ways, but I think it's more than anything just mindset of like, ooh, what do I even say? That's another thing. Fear of judgment, that I don't have anything special to share, that there's nothing unique about me. Like, why? I had one of my students that filled out that survey. She's like, why would anyone think I'm special if I don't think I'm special? Like, if I don't think I have anything unique to share, why would someone even want to book me? And it's like, but you do have something special to share. I promise you. And that's part of my program too, is like helping people uncover what makes you special, what makes you different, and why would someone choose you over the competition? When we're so close to our zone of genius, we don't even realize what's special about us.
And that comes back to the imposter syndrome and low self-worth, and not taking the time to like get really clear on what you are incredible at and stepping into that confidence. I've spoken to countless people in the industry who feel like they've just lost themselves in the process and they don't see what their clients see in them. And I think when you're going through those moments of self-doubt or you're having that imposter syndrome, sometimes the best place to look is your Google reviews, because there will be things that people consistently say about you, and you'll start to realize, oh, wow, people said I was really warm and inviting, or maybe they said I had a great sense of humor. Like, it's not necessarily success metrics like the amount of money you make or how fancy your salon fit out is. It's actually how you show up as a person and how you make people feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's actually one of the tips that I give in my training too, is like one of the things to uncover your secret sauce is like listen to what people are saying about you. Read those reviews, highlight them, look for some trends in like what people say after their appointment of like, I feel so dot dot dot. You are so dot dot dot. I love this about Sammy that she's dot dot dot. Like then you're starting to see some trends of like, oh my gosh, like people actually do love me. Like I do have something special to share. And then once you start building that confidence in yourself, then you're like, okay, I got to tell more people about this. Like, how do I get the word out? And how do I make that come across in my ads?
So what's the cost of getting started? Like, could I start running ads with $5 a day, or is there a certain budget that you recommend where you're like, $5 isn't enough. You probably need to look at like 20 or 50. Like
No, I
how
think
much does it
$5 a
cost to
day is
start?
a good, yeah, I think $5 to $10 a day is a good place to start. If you can, $5 a day used to be more standard. Now I'm leaning more towards 10, but even like $7 or $8 a day is absolutely fine.
And how long do they need to be running for before you switch them off and go, hey, that's not working? Because I know some people might be like, oh my gosh, I've spent,
Mhm.
$50 this week and it's not seeing much of a return on investment. Do they need to run for at least 2 weeks for you to start seeing metrics, or what do you recommend?
Yeah, yeah, good question. So I usually recommend that my students plan to run their ads for 1 month. So they put together this special offer and they schedule it so that the ad's running, for example, from August 1st to August 31st. And usually within 1 week, you can tell whether your ad's working. It usually takes a few days for the algorithm to start working, for the ads manager to figure out, okay, who's the best people to show this ad to. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. But if after
Yeah.
7 days you're not getting any messages, or you've gotten a handful of messages but none of them have led to appointments, at that point I'm usually like, we need to tweak something. And there's kind of an art to troubleshooting ads, because a lot of people will just, after that week, if their ad's not working, they'll just turn it off. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like tweaking and testing new ads is part of the whole process. Like, don't skip that part. So I usually get them to test different videos and then test different captions, test different follow ups. So if they're getting people to go to Messenger, but none of those people are converting into appointments, then it's like, well, what kind of consultation are you doing with them? What's the call to action? Are people replying to your messages? All of that, tweak that. And then if you've tried all of that, you've tested out like 3 to 4 different ad variations, like different videos, captions, headlines, etc., and it's not working, and there might be a problem with your offer. Your offer is usually the last thing that I tell people to tweak. But if you're trying different ads and nothing's working, it's like, you know what? I think your offer just isn't good enough. It's not exciting enough. You're not really speaking to the right people with the right solution for their problem right now. So how can we make this juicier? Sometimes it's like adding different bonuses. Sometimes it's adding more urgency of like, this is only available for this week. Sometimes it's like tweaking the pricing a little bit. So I don't teach discounting. I don't love discounting. But if you're advertising something that's like $400, can you advertise a package that maybe has fewer things and it's $200 instead? And you're still making a good profit with it, but it's just an easier point of entry for new clients.
So what I'm hearing is don't give up after 7 days. It's actually about optimizing and A/B split testing to figure out what actually works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to teach my students like just do one ad, because like I said, I love teaching the path of least resistance to get results for my students. But I realized that like one ad's not good enough anymore. It used to be, but if you're only testing out one ad, you're probably not going to get great results. So I actually teach my students from the get-go to test out 3 different captions and 3 different videos.
That's super valuable advice. So, Stephanie, of all the people you've helped inside the ad lab, what's a transformation that still gives you goosebumps when you talk about it?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I recently, I think it was back in March or April, interviewed one of my students for my YouTube channel. And I just love what she said, because she was just like, when I interviewed her, she was like, acted like she was talking with a celebrity. She's like, Stephanie, thank you so much for making the time. I'm like, thank you for making the time. But it's just my program helped her so much that she's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm like, you did all the hard work. Like, I'm just glad you found me. So her name's Gordana and she lives in Croatia. And she started a skin studio last summer. Or no, a little bit more than last summer. Let's say a year and a half ago. So a year and a half ago, she started. And for her first 6 months in business, she had 2 clients. And
Oof.
her expenses were around $2,000 a month. And from those 2 clients, she wasn't near making that amount of money. So she's had to start like secretly borrowing money from her husband, like, cause they had a joint account and she would just like kind of secretly take out money and hope that he didn't notice in order to pay her rent. And at a certain point, her husband, her mom, even her landlord, she said, was saying like, you know what, you tried and it didn't go anywhere. Don't take it personally. Just like, cut your losses, shut down your studio because you're just not making any money. But she believed so hard in what she was doing. And, she was trying everything to market herself, like literally everything. I talked with her and I was like, wow, that's very impressive. Like, it seems like she knew what she was doing marketing wise, but it just wasn't getting to enough people. So she randomly found me on YouTube. She subscribed to my email list. She found out about the ad lab and she's like, I just got to do this. And her husband was like, no, like don't invest $650 in a program. You really don't have any money to lose. She said, I cried, I screamed. I was like, no, I'm doing this. I believe in this so hard. And I was like, wow, like, thank you for believing in me that much. And she put the charge on her credit card. And she was just so desperate that she like did her first ad campaign within like a few days of joining the ad lab. She put $113 charge on her credit card, hoping that her ads would work. So she spent $113 on them.
Yeah.
113 euros because she's in Croatia. And from that first ad campaign, she booked 3 clients, which doesn't seem like a big deal, except for that each of those clients spent several $1,000s with her, then referred other clients to her, and just stuck with her, became like loyal clients. And she was like, whoa, I just made $6,000 from my first ad campaign. Like what Stephanie said would happen did happen. And she showed her husband, she's like, look, like it's actually working. Like finally people are discovering me. And for some reason, I'm just really clicking with people. She's like, why don't I do another ad campaign? So she did several more ad campaigns. And because she had a small studio, because her costs were pretty low, she was only working by herself. It didn't take that much for her to have a full schedule and income that could reliably pay her bills and then also pay herself. And when she was telling me this story, she said, like last summer, I couldn't sleep. I was waking up at 4 a.m. crying, panicking, thinking like, oh my gosh, I invested so much time and money building this skin studio and it's just not working for me. And then she said, instead, this summer, I'm paying for, our vacation to go to Greece. I feel like I'm doing what I was meant to do. I feel in control. I'm paying myself finally, which is so exciting. And none of this would have been possible if I hadn't have done ads. And I'm just so freaking happy for her that she took a chance and just said, you know what? This is my Hail Mary. I've got to try something different. And the ads just really, really clicked with the right people. And I asked her, I was like, what do you think is different about how you were like, how did ads just work differently from all the other stuff you were trying? Whether that was referral marketing, she was putting pamphlets in people's mailboxes. She was like even spamming WhatsApp group of her son's school. Like in her son's school, she was part of several WhatsApp groups and she would spam the WhatsApp group. So it's not like she wasn't trying. I was like, what do you think is different? She's like, I think what really made the difference, Stephanie, is that my ads, I really understood who my target audience was. And I was finally able to clearly tell a story in my ads that I just hadn't really clarified before. And people just clicked with it. People were visiting me from other cities. I don't even know how I ended up targeting people in other cities because that wasn't my intention. But people were coming from like an hour and a half away to come and see me. And the client experience was so good that they were like, yeah, I'll sign up for your several $1,000 skincare plan. And it was just like a snowball effect. So long story short, Gordana is amazing. And my program helped her, but really it was just getting in front of the right people. That's all that she needed to do. She didn't need to change anything about how she was running her business.
I think so many people can relate to her story in terms of feeling like you've made this massive investment in a shop front or hiring a new team member, taking on so much risk and just praying that the clients are going to show up, feeling like you're giving every ounce of energy in your being and it's not paying off. I definitely think after this conversation, I'm like, I need to really go all in on ads, because I think that's the part that most people leave out because there's this big misunderstanding or fear around it. But it's also when you look on Shark Tank or any of those kind of things and you're listening through, they're always asking, are you doing organic or paid? And paid advertising means you can scale, right? Like if you are stuck at a like glass ceiling with your income, with the amount of clients you can impact, ads is just the only way to get out there these days. Like you can make such an impact by being able to get in front of those new audiences in ways that you wouldn't with 200 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I love
you
this.
want to run ads, but you're not running ads right now?
No, I actually just started running ads in the last 4 weeks, and it's been my block for ads was actually integrating the Pixel into Go High Level, all the API conversions. And I've spent the last 6 months shifting into a new platform. So Go High Level, I've set up all my funnels, email automations, like all this stuff in the back end, where I was like, if I was running ads before, I probably would have just been wasting money if I didn't have something to send them to, I guess. But now we're having this conversation, I'm like, maybe I need to rethink my ad strategy. But no, it's been such a journey trying to get out of my own way. Like I love the fact that you said, here's your one ad, here's your offer. Here's me going, oh, the resistance now is I have to create 5 ads. And oh, now I have to create different copy. And I just create more and more work before I even get to the point of just hitting post on one, that I get so burnt out that I'm like, I don't even want to do this anymore. And I overcomplicate it. And just like talking to you now has been really refreshing, because it's made me go, stop being your own cock block. Like get out of your own way, make it simple, just put it out there and then test it over time. So
yeah,
we'll get there.
And it really helps to have like a lot of like examples. So in the ad lab, I do give a lot of like templates. I show what's worked before. Our students are constantly sharing their wins in our Facebook group. And then people ask like, oh, can I see your ad? Like I'm advertising extensions too. I need inspiration. So it's easier if you're not starting from scratch. But you're advertising your education business, right?
Yeah, doing more consulting. So I work with beauty salon owners, and then I'm also really supporting the educators, trainers, and coaches in that space as well with setting up their funnels. So it's been a big journey. But in saying that, I think for me, I had been doing a lot of one-on-one this year, and then moving back into that space of, over the last 3 years, I've had this digital course, which I've just innovated each time and I've improved it. As ChatGPT has come out, how can we take a lot of the groundwork out and then streamline it? And so I've just had all these iterations. And like you were saying, I've got screenshots of all the lead gen posts that have gone viral, and I've gone the opposite way of you. I've done all organic. But the roadblock I was having is I'm only getting, 1,000 views, or I'm only getting 10 people liking my post. Back 3-4 years ago, it was like 10x
it was a different
that amount.
story. I know. And we took it for
and
granted.
I feel like
We didn't even realize how good we had it a few years ago. We're like, oh, if I had only realized like how good my engagement was back then, I think I would have taken Instagram a lot more seriously. That's at least what I think. And nowadays I'm like, yeah, I got 25 likes. Like, yes, I passed 1,000 views on my reel. Like, we're celebrating small wins. And I mean, that's great to celebrate small wins, but it's like, how much time and effort am I putting into that? And how much is it truly paying off?
Oh, that's it. Like, I much prefer having the podcast. If I could delete social media and just podcast, I would do that, because I love long form content. I like that conversation. I like giving value. I like storytelling. On Instagram, how much burnout, like you were saying before, you're so prone to burnout, because it's like, okay, I've got to create 5 to 7 pieces of content that are short form. I've got to have all these different ideas, scripts, film, edit. And no wonder why people are exhausted. They're burnt out. But imagine if you did one really good ad that you invested that in, and then it's showing over and over again. Like, you're going to get so much more out of that piece of content than solely just relying on organic. There's your one post. It's gone after 2 days.
Yeah. I like these days, I like to use Instagram as kind of like, how do I even say, like a portfolio for people who stumble across me from my ads and who just want to like see what I'm all about and get an idea of my life and that kind of thing. And I kind of just like, I pinned my top 3 posts to the top of my feed that are good lead generators, that kind of thing. But I'm trying not to take Instagram too seriously these days. I'm like, yeah, people find me all the time through my ads. I've got like 20,000 followers on Instagram. Most of them have found me through my ads, but I don't assume that those people are like going to see my stuff. I have 20,000 followers and many of my posts have less than 500 views. And it's like, really? Like, is that the best I can do? Whereas my ads, I feel like I'm really good at doing ads. So I don't know why that doesn't translate into like good Instagram posts that get good engagement. But I think it's just because it's evolving so fast of like what's trending, what's working. And I just don't keep on top of it. Whereas ads, I think the foundation of what makes a good ad really hasn't changed that much.
Out of curiosity, how old are you and what has been your preferred platform? Like, is it Instagram or Facebook?
How old do you think I am? Don't be afraid of offending me.
I feel like you look like you're 34, 35.
Yes. Wait, I'm born in 88. So I think I'm I think I just turned 37.
Okay. That's a compliment then.
I can never, I'm not 38. I'm either 36 or 37. I think I'm 37. I keep forgetting. Ever since I turned 30, I don't really keep track anymore. But I'm pretty sure I'm 37. And my platform of choice, okay. Like for mindless scrolling, I actually feel like the Instagram algorithm has figured me out, but it's not beauty content. It's like thrifting, flipped furniture, travel, recipes, and parenting tips.
Oh yeah.
For my business, Pinterest has been huge, weirdly enough. I love YouTube. Tons of people find me through YouTube these days.
How many subscribers do you have on YouTube?
10,000.
10,000. And do you use YouTube as a form of lead generation for your courses?
Yeah. So every one of my YouTube videos at the top of the description and the first pinned comment is join my free class. And so a lot of my students, every single student I ask them like, how did you find me? And more people are finding me through YouTube.
I really love long form content. I think in a world where we have this ADHD TikTok brain that can't handle more than 3 seconds of focusing, it's really refreshing to find great creators that you can follow on YouTube and just consume valuable long form content. Actually, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I watched a fair amount of your YouTube back in the day and it helped for sure. That's probably how I got into the masterclass. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I would have seen ads. I would have seen the masterclass. I was just getting retargeted.
It's a combination of a lot of things. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've loved this so much. Thank you so much for being here and sharing all of your wisdom. I feel like we could have honestly just spoken for hours.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's a real click with like both of our personalities and our experience and everything like that I definitely could have talked with you for hours, Sammy. So thank you for being such a good interviewer.
Oh, I appreciate it. And thank you for your time. Like, I know you've got a busy life, you've got a son, you've got people to look after. I really appreciate you coming in and being able to support my community. The way you break down something as intimidating as Facebook ads is something approachable, strategic, and empowering, and a gift to this industry. For anyone who's been sitting on the fence about paid marketing, I hope this episode gave you the nudge to think bigger, start smarter, and stop relying on random boosting posts. Get a strategy. And for anyone who has listened, like, where can they sign up to the Ad Lab? Because I'm not teaching this stuff clearly and they need you in their lives. Like, where do we send them?
Yeah. So you can check out the Ad Lab at joinadlab.com. Or if you want to go to my free training, you go to salonadsmadeeasy.com/free free class. And I'll give you those links too to put in the notes if you want.
Amazing. We'll have them in the show notes. And where can they find you on Instagram?
Stephanie Mitchell Marketing, and prepare to be underwhelmed by my Instagram feed because like I said, I hate Instagram. Maybe people will look at it and be like, wow, I love your stuff. Like, that's so great. But it's definitely not where I feel that I shine.
Just engage with the top 3 pinned posts and then you'll get retargeted in her ads and you can see all her goodness in her ads.
There you go. That's a great strategy. Thank you.
Whether you're just starting out or scaling to that next level, don't underestimate the power of a simple ad with the right message behind it. If you loved this conversation, please tag us on socials at Beauty Industry Leaders and at Stephanie Mitchell Marketing. We'd love to hear your favorite takeaway. Until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and remember, the right clients are out there. You just need the right strategy to reach them. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Sammy. Bye.
Audience exclusive.